The 9.0 update has finally been released for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This update added Steve from Minecraft, who's been one of my most wanted characters for years now. Along with Steve, of course, there's his stage, music, new Mii costumes, patch notes, and more. All of which I'll be going over today to provide my quick thoughts on each of them. I'll try to cover most of Steve's moves in detail as well, and some applications for them. I'm keeping this intro pretty brief so that I have more time to cover everything else in detail because wow, there's a lot to talk about here as you can tell by the length of this video. So if you enjoy, please remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel as it'll help a ton. But with that out of the way, let's jump right into my thoughts on the 9.0 update for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Let's start off with, of course, the highlight of the update, Steve himself. And like I've said, I've been wanting Steve for years, ever since 2015 when Minecraft was finally added to the Wii U. I'm a huge fan of Minecraft, so let's just say I was a bit excited to see him.
Oh my god! Yes! 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 Oh my... Yes! Yes! They said it wouldn't happen! Yes!
But anyways, did he live up to my expectations? Well, to be honest, he's way better than I was expecting. Not only in terms of how fun he is, but also how good he actually seems to be. Steve's main mechanic is his mining and crafting on his neutral special, where he'll be able to mine resources to use in his other attacks. He can use them to craft faster tools, rails, TNT, anvils, or just use them as blocks in general. I think they nailed how this works, as I was worried it would take too long to get resources. However, you get them fairly quickly, and they'll even carry over between stocks. In terms of the tools, in my opinion, they managed to strike a perfect balance where wood isn't really that weak, so it feels great to use, even though it's supposed to be the weakest material, besides your fist of course. Diamond tools feel extremely strong and to me are basically just Steve's version of Arsene, except you're actually able to use it whenever you want to with the cost of startup time to craft it. They managed to mix the mining and crafting aspects of Minecraft with the fast-paced battles of Smash perfectly. It feels natural and not tedious at all, so I'm very happy with how they implemented his central mechanic. When mining, every single surface in the game had to be retooled so that it would give you a different resource depending on what surface you're on. For example, you get a lot of iron on say Lilat, whereas on Smashville you'll get more wood. This will also change what tool you'll be using to mine, which is also important as if that tool breaks while mining, you can't use that tool in other moves without crafting another. This makes using a stage with Steve even more complex, as now you need to not only think about the layout, but the resources of the stage as well. They put so much attention to detail and work into his main mechanic, and I think they've nailed it. It feels great to use and combine with the rest of his moveset. I want to cover each of his moves a bit more in depth so that we'll be able to see how the crafting is incorporated into each of them. Also keep in mind here, I'm not the absolute best Smash player in the world. I like to think I'm decently good at the game, but I won't always be 100% accurate about these. As this video is my thoughts though, I'll be talking about how much I enjoy each of these moves and possible situations where I think they can be used. First off, let's start with the special since I've already talked a bunch about neutral special. There are two other parts of this move that I haven't talked about yet. Steve is able to summon their crafting table over to them by pressing shield and B. I'm really happy that this is the case because it's nice for being able to craft something quickly. Sometimes I feel like it doesn't read my inputs on this move specifically, especially if I want to craft something right after I summon it in, but to be honest, that might just be due to Wi-Fi, so I'm really happy with this. The other, much more complicated part though, is of course the blocks. If neutral special is done in the air, Steve will place down a block. You can place 8 blocks on the screen at a time, and you'll start with your weaker materials, and then begin building with your stronger ones. The stronger ones are harder to break with attacks, and also last a bit longer. This is the only move from Steve that I'm honestly a bit mixed on. Though only slightly. The blocks are able to be used for insane setups, whether it's placing them in a way that will slam others down if they miss their tech on them, edgeguarding with them by blocking someone's recovery or doing a smash attack while on the blocks, or even just recovering and stalling yourself on the stage. The potential with these blocks are limitless, and I seriously can't wait to start practicing with them more and incorporating them into my moves. As of now, I really don't feel like I use them as much as I should, and since I'm going to try and main Steve, I'm going to have to seriously start learning some of these setups. However, I did say that this move disappointed me a bit as well. Remember when I said the potential is limitless? Well, I lied. Now, when they first said that you can't place blocks too far away from the stage, I was okay with that. It made sense. However, these block limits are, well, way too limiting. You can barely go anywhere, which means that blocks are basically useless for recovery, since if you can use blocks, you can always just elytra back. This likely will never be fixed, but it's just a bit disappointing that we can't go very far with them. Still though, on stage the blocks are an amazing tool and they just have a bit too many off-stage limits. I'll be talking about blocks a lot more in this video when I cover other moves because they can be combined with them in really nice ways. This is definitely a really unique move and I'm super excited to see what sort of things we can do with it in the future. I've already seen so many cool things, so I just can't wait to keep on using this move and practicing with it. Alright, I've covered neutral special. How many other moves are there? Oh. Okay, well, neutral special is the most complicated move, so hopefully the others will be quicker. Steve's side special is minecart, and this thing is way better than I was expecting it to be. This does take 1 iron to use, however it's barely a drawback at all due to how often you get iron. This is of course a pretty good recovery tool since it has a hitbox and is decently fast. You even get another jump out of it, so if you're really low it may even help you there as well. But that's not even the best part of this thing. That hitbox I mentioned is stupid strong. Like, it hits extremely hard and the risk of throwing out minecart is relatively low since you can just jump out and attack after. Oh yeah, and if it wasn't enough, it even acts as a command grab. So even if you shield it, Steve can jump out and it'll grab you, which will put you into a really bad position. Just throwing out the minecart a ton in the match to maybe just make the opponent back off so you can mine or force them into the air for any good attack is really nice. I think there's a decent argument here for this being one of Steve's best moves. It's an amazing kill move, an amazing burst movement option, a command grab, and a solid recovery tool. All of this for 1 iron. Oh yeah, and did I mention if you get gold you go even faster with it? Yeah, this move may be Steve's most busted move. The Elytra for up special is a fairly basic recovery tool. It doesn't go very far, though again, using the minecart you can still recover from fairly low. This allows you to fly in any direction you want to and even has a small hitbox at the start. His last special move is his TNT, and this is pretty interesting. This is a super strong attack, however it's pretty hard to set up. You have to place down the TNT in either a bunch of redstone and a pressure plate to activate it, or just hit it to start the fuse. While for me this is pretty hard to use, there are 2 things about this which make it worth it. 1, if you stand on top of it when it explodes, you don't take knockback or damage, which is ridiculous. Since lava will instantly activate TNT, you can stand on top of it and just down smash to activate it on the spot. This is definitely much better than the pressure plate approach in my opinion, at least from what I can tell. The other application is that since Steve can mine the TNT for resources, you can camp up top with the blocks, place TNT under yourself, and just mine the TNT in a spot that the opponent would have a hard time reaching you. The TNT does take quite a bit of materials to use, however if you mine fast enough you'll definitely make it up. So Steve's special moves are all either pretty solid or extremely good. Not a single bad one here, and moves like the minecart and neutral special will make Steve's gameplay insane. Alright, so now to move into Steve's normal attacks, which are mostly pretty simple. First for his tilts, both jab and forward tilt are all actually the same move. Steve will do a weak sword swing in front of him, which he can do while moving. This is very quick, it can lead to some decent combos, setups, and may even work well as a tool to keep opponents away while mining. He's also able to jump while doing this as his sword also acts as his neutral air. Personally, I've been having a hard time using this myself, however I know that it's a very important part of his toolkit and can lead to a lot of combos, so this is definitely one I'm going to be practicing with. Down tilt is flint and steel, and this is another move that doesn't require resources. This places a fire in front of Steve, which can work for combos, just to knock opponents away, or even block some projectiles. This is super disjointed, and it's also extremely safe on shield. Like, extremely safe. Not only is that super good, but it's also affected by gravity, meaning that it can 2-frame people recovering, which is very nice as it gives Steve more time to either edgeguard or get more materials. This not using any resources is a huge plus, so this is definitely a great tilt. I still need to work on using this a bit more myself since it's a bit slow, however once I'm able to get used to it, it'll be game changing. His up tilt is definitely my favorite tilt of his, and it may be my favorite up tilt in the game. This is a quick axe swing that combos into pretty much everything. This seems to be Steve's main combo starter and it does that super well. I might as well go ahead and cover up air here as well since it's basically the same thing, but you can chain 5 up tilts and up airs together fairly easily and it combos at pretty much any percent you'd want it to. Steve is even able to not only move around while doing this, but hold down the button to repeatedly use the move, which means that you can basically keep your opponents in the air for quite a while. You can even place blocks below Steve in the middle of his up air strings to get your jumps back for more up tilts and up airs, which can do massive damage. Maybe even leading to the end of a stock if you hit it into up smash, which yeah, up tilt combos into up smash fairly consistently, making it a solid kill move. The only thing really holding this back from being overpowered is that its range is somewhat short, but still, the reward you get off just hitting this one time at any percent is too good to pass up. If minecart isn't Steve's best move, this may be it, because it works with everything in Steve's moveset. This is why I think Steve is going to struggle on any stage that uses wood as its flooring, as his axe will break from mining, which means up tilt and up air can't be used, so I definitely try to avoid stages that use the axe as the main mining tool as much as possible. Well, we've already covered neutral air and up air since they're basically just air versions of tilt, so let's go ahead and look at his other 3 aerials. Both forward air and back air use the pickaxe, but they're both pretty different. Back air is your basic kill move, though from what I could tell, it seems pretty decently fast. If you get diamond or even just iron though, this thing is extremely strong, so this is definitely a great kill move and edge guarding tool. Forward air is weaker, but it also is quicker and meteor smashes. I actually found myself comboing with this thing more than edgeguarding with it because it's just so extremely fast that it's pretty good to use after a down throw to extend a combo. The weird thing about this though is that since it's so fast, I have a hard time using it. I know it sounds silly, but as a Mario main, this thing is twice as fast as his forward air, so it kind of makes it hard for me to time. But yeah, on stage, this is an amazing combo tool that leads to huge combos or even kill confirms into up smash at higher percents. This of course also gets more powerful with stronger tools, so if you hit somebody off stage with the diamond one, there is a good chance they're not coming back. Now both back air and forward air have a mechanic that I haven't really mentioned yet. They can't be buffered. If they're buffered, Steve will instead do his sword jab in the given direction. This isn't really much of an issue, and in fact it may actually be a good thing because it might allow for some more setups, however sometimes it can be annoying, although it's a bit rare. His final aerial is down air, and this move is insane. Think of it as a combination of Kirby's down B and Mega Man's down air. At the cost of 1 iron, Steve will drop and ride down an anvil that does a ton of damage and knockback to whoever is on the receiving end. This move is extremely powerful and fairly safe too, considering Steve can just jump off of it, which is just insane. There are also a ton of setups you can do with this, like placing it on a block to delay its fall, breaking full shields with this, or maybe even killing people at 0%, which works like this. Anvil is definitely a great addition to Steve's moveset and is again very fun to use, and it's an amazing kill option. His smash attacks are all at the very least solid. Forward smash is basically the most generic forward smash you can get, though it does have a very surprisingly long reach and very good knockback, especially with diamond. This is also a fairly fast one, so it's a great smash attack for sure. Down smash releases lava to both sides of you, and this can even hit opponents on the other side of you due to the lava going into Steve a bit. This sends at a brutal angle and is also pretty fast. The only real downside is that it's pretty unsafe on shield, but other than that it's a solid down smash. Finally is Steve's up smash, and this move is way better than I was expecting it to be. It comes out extremely fast on frame 8 and lingers for so long that opponents would have a hard time trying to avoid it. This also has a scooping hitbox which will hit opponents at Steve's side into the move on startup, which is something I also wasn't expecting. If you're on a stage with platforms, this is also really good at catching people on there and when they're just landing in general. It also combos from up tilt as well, like I said before, which means it's a really good tool to end stocks. The only downside is it's obviously atrocious end lag, however, as long as you use it while the opponent's in the air, or if you're using it in a combo, it shouldn't really be a problem. This all leads to up smash being a surprisingly great move. I was expecting it to be pretty awful, but it's actually pretty powerful. Okay, on to his last set of moves, starting with dash attack. It's pretty basic. Not great, but not bad either. Solid option. The other set of moves are his grabs and throws. His grab is extremely slow on startup and especially end lag. What's really annoying about it is that I feel like its hitbox goes away way too early. There were several times where the bobber would touch the opponent but just not grab them. This can be used to grab opponents a bit above and below you, which is nice though. The range is decent, but overall, grab is definitely something you can't be throwing around constantly. Speaking of throwing around, his up throw, forward throw, and back throws are all decent, but nothing too special. If combined with blocks though, you could throw your opponents into them, and then have them fall to their deaths, which is definitely a nice way to get kills. His down throw, however, is an amazing combo starter. It combos into forward smash, down tilt, and my personal favorite way to use his forward air. This does cost 1 iron to use at its best, so be careful, but the combo reward for hitting it is definitely worth it. That's all for his moves, however, there are a few more things to talk about. All of his taunts are amazing. The spamming crouch is of course the best one, with the eating steak at second. His up taunt is okay, but come on, you've gotta love the other two more, they're just perfect. His final smash is absolutely hilarious, and the exploding part looks like it was taken straight from Minecraft, which is just the best. Getting hit with a giant piston is also super funny. Steve is a pretty light and somewhat slow character, however his speed hasn't really affected me too much as of now. He's more of a middle tier weight, so it's not that bad either. His jump height is pitiful, however I think the jump height might actually be a good thing, as it allows for his up air combos to be way easier to do. All of Steve's animations are hilarious. I love how they decided to keep him so close to his Minecraft appearance, and it looks like he was just ripped out straight from the game, which as a huge Minecraft fan, I absolutely adore. His teching animation is legendary, and everything else he does just cracks me up every time. All 3 of his victory screens are amazing, one featuring a creeper, one eating a steak, and the final and best one, him building a house. I also really like how the victory theme is the hard achievement get noise. It's absolutely perfect, and it's surprising to me that I never thought about that before. The final thing about Steve I want to go over are his alts. Call me biased, but of all the DLC, I personally think he got the best alts. His only real competition in this field is Hero though, so yeah, Steve got some great ones. Alex was a super obvious choice, but Zombie and especially Enderman were very fun surprises. They even all get different announcer calls where we can see that the announcer clearly has something against Alex.
Start the battle, Steve!
all of the main 4 alts are S tier costumes in my opinion. The other 4 though, are just okay. I'm not really a fan of any of them, though each of them are iconic different looks for Steve and Alex from the skin packs on the console and Bedrock versions. But there's one thing I have to ask. Why did they not include Tuxedo Steve? Quite possibly the best alternate look for Steve? This is genuinely the most snubbed alternate costume of all time. I mean, it's just so iconic. Also, I would have really loved a Herobrine skin. I know that Herobrine and Steve may be too close together, but when Richter has 2 alts like this, then it's good enough for me. So yeah, the main 4 are great, these 2 are solid, this one is just okay, and if you main 10 as Steve, I want to stay as far away from you as humanly possible. But yeah, overall, I love how Steve was implemented into the game. He seems to me that he might have the potential to be a top tier character, or at the very least high tier, but he's definitely a hard one to master, but his skill ceiling just seems to be limitless. I'm super excited to continue playing this character and especially seeing what others do with him. He's already my second most played DLC character behind Hero, like here's all my playtime with the others. So yeah, I'm really enjoying him. But of course, Steve isn't the only new thing in 9.0, so let's go into everything else he brought with him. Next up we have the stage Minecraft World. This stage looks like it's taken directly from Minecraft itself, to the point that they even had to say the footage was from Smash Ultimate when showing it off. I really love just how the stage looks in general, since I love the Minecraft art style, so I'm definitely going to be playing on its Battlefield and Omega versions very often. Now, as for the main form of the stage, this is definitely the biggest one yet. Not in terms of size, but in terms of just how much is packed into this thing. There are 6 variations of the stage, all based around different biomes: the plains, savanna, birch forest, taiga, mountain beach, and snowy taiga. These each look completely different from each other, but are also all laid out differently as well. I'll mostly be talking about the no hazards version, but with hazards on, you're able to destroy a few blocks, so it's a decent gimmick. The hazardless versions, though, are surprisingly really good. Like, really good. None of the blocks spawn in on the hazardless version, meaning that the stage is just a flat plane with platforms. The different biomes each have different layouts, so let's go through them quickly. Plains is just a simple final destination with no platforms. The birch forest has 2 platforms, with one on the right being placed a bit higher. The savanna has 1 platform to the left of the stage. The taiga, like the plains, also has no platforms. The snowy tundra is like Pokemon Stadium and Battlefield, with 2 platforms at the sides, though I think this stage is bigger. And finally, the mountain beach is a single platform to the right. I love all of these layouts, though if I were to rank them, I'd say the birch forest is my favorite, then the mountain beach, then the savanna, then the snowy tundra just because there's other stages like it, then the taiga, and finally the plains. All of these are extremely fun to play on for me, and they seem they could actually be legal. I don't see any reason why they couldn't be, especially the 3 I listed as my favorites, as they have unique layouts we haven't seen before. I think there's actually a good chance we may see our first DLC legal stage. Is what I would say if it unfortunately wasn't random when you select the stage normally. Yeah, when you click it, it'll give you one of these 6 at random, which definitely wouldn't be allowed in competitive play. Which is what I would say if they didn't include a way to select the biomes. Yeah, this stage is so good that they actually allow you to select which version of the stage you want to play on through button combinations when selecting the stage, which is absolutely insane. We could possibly be getting 3 brand new legal stages from just this one stage alone. That makes me super excited because it's always nice to get new unique stages to play on, so I really hope no one finds some dumb reason to ban these. As far as I can tell, the hazardless version of the birch forest, savanna, and mountain beach have really no good reason to be banned. The other 3 layouts are already similar to other stages that we have on, so those might get banned, but since the materials on the floor are different, they may not be, who knows. Oh yeah, these stages are perfect for showing off Steve's mining as well, since each of them contain every single type of surface, which is a really nice touch. So with its 6 different versions, each of which being amazing, and most importantly being able to select which biome you go to before the match, this is easily my favorite DLC stage and may end up being one of my favorite stages in general. I also love how in the background you can see that they're from actual Minecraft world, and you can see someone's hut here in the background, which I just found pretty funny. On to the music now, and looking at this selection at first, it was extremely disappointing. Not a single song from the main game itself, meaning no Sweden remix or Pigstep or any other great song from that game. I have a suspicion that it may have something to do with them being from C418 and Pigstep being too recent, but I guess we'll never know for sure. So the songs are only coming from Minecraft Dungeons, Earth, and the minigames from the console versions, which were the best thing ever, by the way. Super happy they got a bunch of songs here. Super sad that Double Time, the song playing in the background now, wasn't included though. It's perfect for Smash. So while it was kind of disappointing to see at first, these remixes are all incredible. Despite having the shortest song list of the DLC, I feel like this is the second best selection, only being bested by Persona 5 music, only because the music there is criminally good. Looking at each of the songs here, there's a good reason Holland was chosen as the trailer theme. It's easily a 10 out of 10 song and is one of my favorite songs in the game easily. This was arranged by Ace, who seemed to do all the songs people really like Gangplank Galleon and Beneath the Mask, which are both 10 out of 10 songs as well, so here's another hit from them. I think I actually like this one better than those two, which is especially crazy because I'm not a huge fan of how the original version of the song sounds, but the way they remixed it turned it into a top tier song. As for my rankings of the other 6, here they are on screen now. Every single one of them is super good, so even though I'm sad about the lack of main Minecraft music and Pigstep, this music selection is definitely good enough for me to be very happy with it. Holland alone is incredible enough, with the 6 other tracks just being even more greatness on top of that. Okay, onto a quick look at the Mii costumes, and like pretty much everything else about this pack, I think this got the best set of Mii costumes to date. Sure, none of them are as good as Sans, however, they're not far off. My favorite one here is easily the Creeper. It just looks so absolutely cursed. I love how the limbs just float there, and combining these parts with other Mii parts is super fun as well. Just like the Creeper, we also got the Pig, which is also super funny in the exact same way. I love how much they just don't look right at all. The last Minecraft one is the Diamond Armor. This is pretty cool as it will even replace the Mii sword with the Diamond sword. It doesn't come anywhere near the amazingness of the Creeper or Pig, but it was definitely still one I purchased. The last Mii costume I decided to buy was Bomberman, and this looks really neat. It's definitely a top tier Mii costume as it looks exactly like Bomberman, and since I like Super Bomberman R, I thought I should pick it up. I'm just really happy with how they modeled this one. Not only does the model look great though, but like in the Bomberman games, you can actually have different colors. Yeah, this is such an amazing feature to add on, and it all comes for the price of one Mii costume. I'll definitely stick with Yellow Bomberman since he's my favorite, but having 12 different color options is crazy. The other 2 Mii costumes I won't be purchasing are this guy Gil, who's returning from the Wii U version, and Travis Scott, Touchdown, which definitely upset a few people. I know a lot of people wanted him in as a fighter, so yeah, to many this may be a bit sad to see. But overall, this easily had the best set of Mii costumes to date from any update. This is not only the first time I'm buying 4 of them, but also the first time I'm buying more than one of them from a given update. None of them were quite as good as Sans though, but that's just because he looks perfect, had a song which was Megalovania, and is Sans, but altogether, I'm extremely happy with this selection. Okay, so for our final segment of the video, we have the last few other things Steve brought with him in the patch notes. Starting off, I really like his classic mode route. You fight people based on Minecraft mobs. So first off, you go against zombies, then Wario that represent pillagers, then Lynx that only use their bows for skeletons, then 3 blue pits and Robin for the Vindicator and Vexes, 2 white Kirbys and 2 small pink K. Rools for what I'm guessing are Ghast and Pigmen, then an Enderman horde, and finally you face Ridley representing the Ender Dragon. As a Minecraft fan, this one was just really cool to see, and I especially love how it's named Journey to the Farlands, which is a reference to, of course, the Minecraft Farlands, which is such a neat detail. Before recording this video, I was also able to get the world record in this Classic Mode's 9.9 category, because if you all didn't know, I actually speedrun Classic Mode. The run was very garbage, but then this happened, which was absolutely hilarious. So yeah, that made me pretty happy, and if you're interested in seeing any of my other Classic Mode records, I have a playlist right here. Anyways, I haven't gotten around to doing the spirits yet, though I have seen people play through them, and they're all great recreations of Minecraft mobs. Now normally I'd cover the last thing here, the patch notes, in its own separate section, however there's really not much to talk about here. They fixed parrying projectiles, so now that's actually something helpful to do, but aside from that though, there's no major changes on any characters, which is extremely disappointing. This is easily the weakest patch in a set of pretty weak patches. I'm not sure why they are refusing to actually try and balance the game, but it seems like these patches aren't going to be getting any better. Luckily though, Ultimate is already pretty balanced, though there are a few things that they could definitely adjust that would be nice. So with everything finally being covered, what's my final verdict? Well, the only downside of this update was the patch notes. This has the best stage, set of Mii costumes, and most importantly, best character of all the updates. I'm enjoying Steve so much, and I'm really excited to keep playing him and learning all of his setups and moves. I genuinely don't think anyone but Dry Bones for Smash would get me as excited for them as I was for Steve. Minecraft has been one of my favorite games for years, and to see that finally come to Smash Ultimate, it really just makes me happy. This is easily my favorite update to Smash Ultimate by far, and I wouldn't be surprised if it stayed that way. But anyways, that's it for this video. How much do you all like Steve? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more on Smash Ultimate and anything else Nintendo Switch. Links to my Twitter and Discord server are in the description. But anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.